The NFL Week 10 DFS Show on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is presented by WynnBET. WynnBET is now live in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Tennessee, and Virginia. Unfortunately, California voters resoundingly rejected sports betting online, so not in California yet. Hopefully they'll mount a better effort next year. This year's effort was tragically bad. So I was one of only 20% of the voters that voted to approve online sports betting in California. Tragic. I'm devastated still, but WynnBET has you covered in states where it's eligible. It has what you need to win. Sign up today, bet $100 and get a $100 free bet at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBET. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET. Scott, how are you today?
I got to tell you, I'm a little disappointed in California out there. I mean, no offense,
disappointed,
but you got to get behind online gambling. Listen, if you're going to be free, if you're going to have the cannabis for 20 years, you can do all those things.
Yeah, if it pleases the crown, may I play a game of chance with the money I've already been taxed on?
Right, that is mine, that I have earned myself.
My own. I want to do what I want with it.
Right, mind your business, California. On the other hand, Maryland, congratulations. They made some good choices themselves. So I'm excited to join Bo in the land of the free, in the home of the brave. Anyway, we're here to help you win some DFS cash, whether you're playing in cash games or if you're in GPP. All hail Bo the King. Last week, I think he scored 217, 220 points. His lineups were crushing it, particularly when you went heavy bone with Joe Mixon. So I gotta give the props where they are due. Well played with Mixon. I think I was going more Higgins, and you looked the other way. So well played, my friend.
Yeah, for me, it was just about a good matchup, leverage. It was all there for Mixon. It was like perfect storm, and I ended up having 50% of my lineups with him in it, which, as you know, when you combine him with Justin Fields and a couple of Miami Dolphins last week, you were in the money. I would have been winning a lot of tournaments had my tight end position been anybody else besides Tyler Higbee and Evan Ingram. Higbee was in a smash spot and he turned into a ghost, and Ingram apparently hurt his back, but I saw him out on the field doing nothing for most of the game. So they're both dead to me. And now that they're dead to me, they're going to go off this week.
Good. I'll roster them everywhere then. But no, I did see that you were a few mere points away from thousands of dollars. So
yes. It was about 10 points, which would have been a Cole Kmet instead of anybody that I played. If I had stacked Kmet and Mooney with Fields instead of a different tight end, I would have been winning a lot of pretty much every tournament I was in.
I will just say to kind of bookend the recap of last week, your boy did say to pick up Cole Kmet on the Fantasy Millionaires and to play him. So, I'm putting it out there. It was a play if you were ear to the ground, and you were whisper reading tight ends, which it's hard to do. But this week it will be your week. I know it'll be my week as well. Let's jump in right away and talk about some of the games at the top of the slate, which I like. They've got numbers like 48 and 49 and 50 above them. Just what we want to see what Vegas thinks the points are going to be at. Not always right, but in some of these games, we know the points are going to be there. They've been there all year. I want to get your breakdown on some of these games. We'll start with Detroit, who's visiting Chicago. Bears are a 3-point home favorite. I'm surprised, though. This is a 48.5-point total. Detroit, they've been sputtering after a hot start. Our boy Amon-Ra St. Brown had 40. I'll tell you this. Amon-Ra St. Brown had 62 points in his first 2 weeks of football. Since then, he's had 43 points. So he's been injured a little bit, but the other games, he's not been injured. He's been playing. So a lot of hit and misses here for Detroit lately. Are they going to hit this week? Are they actually going to hit the over with the Bears?
No, but I was surprised you said that they were not firing on all cylinders. They just won last week. They beat the Green Bay Packers last week.
Offensively, though, they've not
not good.
Yeah.
The problem hasn't been how well they play. I think they're well coached. They go out there and they do the best they can. They just don't win any games. And really, the Bears haven't been any better at doing the same thing. They're a team that is on the rise. I think the Lions and Bears are both on the rise and on the same kind of trajectory, where I think their future is getting brighter and brighter as you go along. Unfortunately, they're still not at the point where either team is winning football games in any kind of meaningful pattern. They're not putting games together very frequently. They only have 2 and 3 wins respectively. And even though both teams have awful defenses, I still think that the offenses have a lot more to prove in this game. And there's a very good chance that they're not going to crack the 48 number for me. I would bet the under in this one.
Yeah. How are you approaching Justin Fields? Let's talk about in cash and
He's
then in
good.
GPPs. Oh, yeah.
Yes, on both.
100% yes. He's getting 15% rostership right now, projected rostership, according to runthesims.com. I don't really care about that. Last week, he was my go-to quarterback. He was my pay down. I talked him up. I played him up.
Scored 50 points, guys.
He here's the thing I like. Detroit ranks bottom of the league against quarterbacks, right? They're 29th against quarterbacks. They're not good. So you already know there's a floor. Actually, I think they're 31st. They give up 22 points per game to quarterbacks already. And then in the last 3 weeks, Justin Fields is the third ranked scoring quarterback in the NFL in DraftKings. He is only 8 points behind Josh Allen, and he's about 16 points behind Patrick Mahomes. So the man has been on fire, right? He has 11 touchdowns in that time, 3 rushing, 8 passing, only 2 interceptions, a 99.69 passer rating, which you would like,
nice.
Right? So this really is the play, and you know he's going to get priced up. He was priced up $1,300. He's going to get priced up again after this week, and he does go off. So I think I'm definitely going to have him as well, maybe 25% to 30% this week instead of the 40% last week. But that's just I like some other plays as well. All right, any other plays from this game? Are you stacking Fields with anybody? Are you just running him naked? How are you approaching him?
Cole Kmet, Darnell Mooney, Chase Claypool. I'm playing both of these running backs in some capacity. Herbert and Montgomery have great matchups. Detroit's defense is bottom of the league in every category. So if you're going to feel like if you're going against the grain here and you're feeling like this game hits the over 48, then you're going to want to stack it. Fields, I actually like Goff as a leverage stacking quarterback. Maybe do Goff and Amon-Ra because I don't think the Bears can stop Amon-Ra. Amon-Ra was hurt, then he played some tough defenses, and that's where we're at. It's not because he's not good at football anymore. This is the kind of matchup where you're just licking your chops for the sun god. So I actually love Goff as a leverage play, stack him with Amon-Ra, run him back with one of these Bears if you want to. But I think Goff might have a better game than Fields, at least at the end of the game. If it is a shootout, I think Jared Goff and the Lions might pull this thing out.
I'm going to build my stack with Justin Fields, Cole Kmet, and Amon-Ra St. Brown because I do agree with you 100% that he comes back. I call him Amon. Amon-Ra. He is coming back, and one thing is still the target volume. He's still getting 9-10 targets a game. That's what you want to see. I'm throwing out the New England game. New England is just, it's New England. Bill Belichick just ate them for breakfast. Yeah, it was just a whole nother. It was a boys against men or boys to men. I don't know, whatever you want to say. By the way, Epcot. My wife definitely said she saw Boys to Men. She said, "Did you know Boys to Men?" I rolled over laughing because right now they're in their 50s. So they're more like boys to old men now. So
men to retired.
men to AARP. So, yeah. All right. Speaking of that, I think you have an ad read to jump on.
Yes, I do. Ready to win money and boost your odds? WinBet is now live in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Tennessee, and Virginia. We're bringing the excitement of Win Las Vegas to online sports betting and casino play. Exclusive rewards are right at your fingertips with Win Rewards on WinBet. Be on the lookout for the WinBet Win Hour each Thursday from 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. During WinBet Win Hour, marquee games of the week will have better odds on WinBet, giving you a larger payout opportunity. Great promos, odds, and payouts are happening right now at WinBet. From boosted same-game parlays to live in-game odds on every major sport, WinBet has what you need to win. Ready to play? Sign up today to receive a special offer. Bet $100, win $100. There's so much to choose from. All you have to do is head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/winbet so they know we sent you. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet today. Offer subject to change. Terms and conditions at winbet.com. Must be 21 or older and present in the state where play through WinBet is available. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700.
No one I know has a gambling problem, which is good. Means we're part of a faithful, responsible group of people. Anyway, with that being said, let's talk about our next game. I'm really excited about. This is the game that has the biggest total so far right now. I'm not sure if it gets over this, does it? Kansas City hosting Jacksonville, 9.5-point favorite for the home favorite. Kansas City Chiefs here. Jacksonville has been sputtering as of late. They started pretty good defensively. I think the Eagles game kind of just shifted things back to reality a little bit for them. But they haven't played terribly, right? I mean, the Colts
they've been in some games. They've been in some games.
They've been in some games. So we saw the Titans stick around and play the Chiefs really tough. There's a lot of animosity, playoff history. I don't think they have this in Jacksonville with Kansas City. There's not a big rivalry here.
Not a rivalry, but there's. I think it's going to play out one of two ways. Either the Chiefs are going to get out to a lead and stay in the lead, or they're going to get out to a lead and fail to run the football because they have really struggled to run the football, and they're going to let the Jags back in. And I think they're in serious jeopardy of giving up a comeback win to the Jags at the end of the game because this Jags offense is no slouch. The pass rush for the Jags is no slouch. So if they cannot establish the run in the second half with a lead, the Jags team is equipped to come back. Trevor Lawrence is a good passer. He's got good weapons. This Chiefs defense is really bad against slot receivers and running backs who catch the ball. And wouldn't you know, their two best offensive players are Christian Kirk, slot receiver, and Travis Etienne, a dynamic running back with a decent receiving chops. I'm not saying he's not otherworldly. He's not DeAndre Swift. He's not Alvin Kamara. He's not anywhere near those guys, but he's good. And he will be a factor, especially in a negative game script. So I do think Travis Etienne, in a game where the Jags are trailing early, can put up more receiving numbers this game. And this could be really exciting because if the Jags can hang tight throughout like the third quarter and put themselves in position for a comeback in the fourth quarter, this game could be really exciting and hit the over pretty easily.
Yeah. What I like about my guy, Travis Etienne, is he's getting like 29 touches a game. Like there's not a situation where they have to worry about like holding him or saving him, or we need to save him for the
either
playoffs.
Him or JaMychal Hasty. So what are you going to do?
The football every time he's in there, or he goes for a touchdown. It's one or the other, right? So, I like him. So does everybody else, though. 19% rostership right now for Travis Etienne, one of the more popular running backs. Christian Kirk, though, is the negative leverage right now, the optimal negative leverage. He is very rostered. He's at 18%. A lot of people are picking up on this. I'm an advocate, though, for stacking in this game. Yes. You can do a nice game stack to break up that chalk. You love it. I love it. If you play Mahomes, who are you most likely to stack with him? And then who are you running it back with? And are you going to go one Jag or two?
I'll do both. I'm going to have lineups with a double stack on the KC side with Mahomes, Kelsey, and one of Juju, MVS, or whatever. I mean, like I usually probably Juju, but Juju's super chalky this week too.
Hardman, so.
No, Hardman's questionable. He's kind of banged up. He's performing really well this season. He's a solid wide receiver too this year, which is surprising the hell out of everybody. So if Hardman is healthy and in this game, then he's going to be one of those stacking options for KC. But I'm really kind of looking again, just like the other game, is leveraging the less popular quarterback and stacking that way. Because for as popular as Etienne and Kirk are, Trevor Lawrence is not. And that's where I'm at. Is if I can get a Trevor Lawrence stack with Etienne and Kirk and run it back with a Kelsey, that might be your ticket, because it's really hard to build a lineup this week with Mahomes and Kelsey.
Yeah, that's true.
And you're not going to want to do that and overspend on two guys who are good plays, of course, but you're gonna be forced to stack with Kirk or Etienne and eat the chalk on a stack that costs you a ton of money, and your lineup's really unlikely to be optimal.
It won't be optimal. I will say this though. The two of them, Kelsey and Mahomes, they're averaging 50 points per game. So
yeah, it's pretty good.
not a lot of yeah. So it's one of those things where if they hit their floor and that's it, you lose. Honestly, you lose.
Yeah.
If they go over and Mahomes gets 40 and Kelsey gets 30, then you're winning. You're going to win. But you're paying for it. So you have less. I guess you have a razor's edge. It's like taking a high draft pick in fantasy football in that first round. You have put a lot of draft capital into them. So that's what you put a lot of your finance capital for DraftKings wise in them. So I like that. All right, let's jump to the next game, which is another big game. A lot of our big games come up front, and then we kind of have some good games at the end. Your boys included. Tease. I have a little rap I'm going to do when I get down to the Cowboys. So
don't do that.
It's going to be awkward.
Don't
do it. Yeah, it's always terrible, but it's okay. All right. Cleveland going to Miami. I'm surprised they're only a 3.5 point favorite. Miami at home. I thought they'd be more like a 5.5 point favorite. Deshaun Watson isn't secretly dressed up as Jacoby Brissett this week, is he?
All season, it seems like a Jacoby Brissett and this offense. It's mostly the running game, but Brissett's been really efficient. This is the number 5 offense in the NFL with DVOA, according to Football Outsiders. This Browns offense is legit. The reason they're under 500 as a record is their defense. Their defense has been a sieve, especially against the run. This is a matchup where I'm smashing the over on this game, and this is one of my favorite games to stack. It's a lot of everybody's favorite games to stack. But again, leverage quarterbacks. A lot of people are going to gravitate to Tua because he's still underpriced. And you're going to want to stack him with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. And like the last 3 weeks, it's been amazing. And winning lots of money, stacking the Dolphins. But you probably made just as much money stacking the opposite quarterback against the Dolphins and then throwing in Tyreek and Waddle because you're saving money with Brissett at 5,400 with just as much upside as Tua with the way that things are going. If the Miami Dolphins continue to roll on offense like they are, the Browns can't run the ball as often as they want to. And Kareem Hunt is in play big time. This is a Kareem Hunt week. Nick Chubb is still a good play. Don't ever fade Nick Chubb because he's too damn good. But Kareem Hunt is in play this week, and he is much, much more appealing for DFS because he is ultra leveraged. He's ultra unpopular, and he has got some upside to burn this week. Oh, yeah. So I love a Brissett Hunt or Brissett Cooper or Brissett Harrison Bryant stack or Njoku if he ends up. Yeah, if Njoku still can't go this week, he's still trying to battle back from that ankle injury. If he can't go, Harrison Bryant at 2,700 is fantastic pay down tight end. He didn't get any targets last week, which means nobody's going to have him. They don't trust him, but that was just game flow. Like they were way ahead against Cincinnati. They were crushing Cincinnati. So why would they throw the ball?
Why would they throw the ball 23 times? Like this thing, you use plays when you need them. If they needed to do a nice touchdown pass to Harrison Bryant, they would have. They did not need that.
They just Nick Chubbed him to death.
Yeah, you got Chubb somebody. No, I like that you said Harrison Bryant because I was going to talk about that in this game. What about on the
DPJ? Like all these Browns receivers are very stackable. This Dolphins secondary is bad, guys. Bad.
The whole Dolphins defense isn't very good, which is enjoyable for DFS because they're good at offense. So yeah. Well, so here's a question. What do you think about Jeff Wilson Jr., touchdown vulture extraordinaire, knows the playbook a little bit, comes back already, scores you double-digit points last week. How are we looking at him? Because he is taking from Mostert. That's what he's kind of doing. But in Run the Sims, he's got a higher projection.
Yeah. He got more touches last week.
He did.
If he came in week 1 and got more touches than Mostert, that makes him the guy. I'm not going to go back on that. They might, but you're basically taking a chance, saying, okay, I might want to play a little bit of each guy just in case. Right. They're both priced pretty well. They both have good game script equity here. So if the Dolphins are out ahead, and then they're going to have to try to run the football. The Browns aren't very good at stopping the run. They're better at rushing the passer than anything. This is this kind of game where you can sneak in a Jeff Wilson and save some money at running back and stock up on stud wide receivers. This is how you do it. If you're going to spend down at running back, you might want to get guys that are guaranteed to get at least double-digit touches.
Yeah, and games that are favored or not favored, but they're home favorites, so they're they're going to hopefully run the football. And then there's a big total, almost 50 points in this game. So I like all those goals. Is it 50 yet? Is it 50 yet? I mean, it's gonna be. It should be 50 soon.
If it was 53, I'd smash it.
Yeah. No, I like that. And I like your Peoples Jones call. He's only 4,300. Cooper 65 is not very expensive either. And then you got to look at Waddle at 76. Hill's the play at 91. He's the best wide receiver so far, not named Cooper Kupp. So who's on the slate as well? We'll talk about him a little bit. But yeah, now I do like this game at all. All right, let's jump. We got one more good game to come, but we got a bunch of shitty games in between. I'm sorry, first cuss swear jar. This next game,
20 minutes. That's pretty good.
I know. I've been trying my best. Is it the 20-minute mark already? Oh wait, never mind.
Yeah.
You go.
All right, get your holiday shopping done early at the SGPN merch store. SGPN gear is the perfect stocking stuffer for the DGen in your life. I really like the hoodies, the bumper stickers, like stickers are everything. Sweatpants.
I run in them every day.
Oh yeah, nice. Yeah, you get a beanie. You get a beanie to run in when it gets cold.
I need to get one. I'm gonna get a beanie for them this year.
Yeah. Plus, from now until Thanksgiving, you can get 10% off when you use the promo code Dallas Sucks. That's store.sportsgamblingpodcast.com, promo code Dallas Sucks. And I have a feeling these guys that run SGPN are not Dallas Cowboys fans. From all the grief that we get, the pro Giants and Eagles stuff that we see from these guys, like they don't like the Dallas Cowboys. And I mean, to be honest, after 26 years of getting burned by my favorite team, I don't like them much either.
Well, you know what? I quit my team, the Washington then Redskins, in 2013-14. I just said, I'm done with you guys. I hate your guts. Hope you die. Never going to talk to you again.
You were ahead of your time.
I was cutting edge. I canceled them before they could do this stuff. Today, by the way,
that makes you a hipster.
I knew it. Yeah, my brother called me one like 10 years ago, and I was like, "How dare you?" You know, so funny. I will say though, if Jay-Z buys the Washington Commanders, they need to change the name, but I will consider allowing myself to watch their games again. I'm not committing to fandom, but I will not. I mean, I never watch their games now. Like never. Don't give a shite about them. So we'll see if that
not
changes.
Like they're playing great games anyway.
No, they're giving up leads and losing anyway. All right, let's talk about two teams that are not great. Well, one team's okay, but not really. Houston visiting the New York Giants are coming off, some losses. They nice win over in the UK, but then they got their butts kicked at Seattle at the end. It's okay. You got the Tyler Lockett. What are you going to do? But they're back. They're 4.5-point home favorites against Houston, who cannot stop the run. They're dead last against the run. It's Saquon Barkley's season, but also it's Dameon Pierce season. They're both super popular this week.
Yeah, give me all the Saquon all the time. I'm fading Pierce this week. I think the Giants defense is a little bit better than people give them credit for. They're top 10 in every positional category. So don't sweat the Houston Texans, because I do think the Giants win this game pretty easily through Saquon Barkley. That's the way they've won all year. This is as smash spot as it gets. Don't worry about chalk with running back anyway. And with the amount of good running backs on the slate, Saquon's not going to be overly chalky. He's going to be 20-25%, and I will eat that all up. Give me, just like last week when I was at 50% Mixon, I'm at 50-60% Saquon. I'm building my lineups this week around Saquon and ETN, and the rest can sort itself out.
I do like that. I do like those as the two kind of hallmark. Last week Eckler, Mixon, the higher priced.
That's what I did.
The efficient is they're efficient there, and Barkley's coming off of some poor performances statistically, DraftKings wise, not in the games. I mean, he's doing well for his team, but their teams are losing. It's they got some banged up offensive issues. One game a couple weeks ago, they lost their whole side of their right line and their tight end. So you lost your protection on the edge when your big guys come back, and it sucked. So, but I do like Barkley a lot, and he's only 17% rostered. If that stays around there, bro, I'm going to join you 100% in the 50% Saquon club, maybe the 69% Saquon club this week, because it is very palpable. Daniel Jones 11%. I can't play both. I advocated for that earlier this year. I don't think there's enough juice in this game at 41 points to play. You play one or the other. That's
not
it.
This game.
Yeah, I'm not playing him anyway. I'm not into Jones, but he's the third most popular quarterback this week. So, and then anybody else in here is not even worth mentioning, I don't believe.
Yeah, it's really tough to get. It's really tough to convince. If I'm
Wandale,
fading
maybe.
Pierce, yeah, Wandale, Darius Slayton's looked okay. I'll throw them in the pool. They're gonna be 10% guys, but yeah, it's really just the Giants defense against Houston's offense. That one looks good. Like Giants DST this week is gonna be fantastic. So give me that Giants DST, like I mentioned. They're a little bit better than people give credit for. They're winning games because they're playing the whole 4 quarters. Their coaching staff is so much better than they've had in the last decade. Yeah, the Giants are going to win this game, and I don't think it's going to be close.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. All right, we got, like I said, these next couple games, they're just sucky totals. So I think there's some plays in the game, but they're not big game stacking where you 5 or 6 plays and take down the slate. But speaking of not taking down the slate, Alvin Kamara not taking down the slate, but playing well. He's kind of back. He's getting his assault charges stayed until the end of the year. The video did drop, and it did not look great. But
terrible quality.
I you couldn't see what was happening.
I think it actually helped Kamara to see the video come out because you couldn't tell it. All that you could tell from the video is that Kamara wasn't the ultimate aggressor that was actually piling on at the end, which is what they charged him with, was aggravated assault.
I think he hit him first and then fell. And then the guy fell, and then his boys went to town.
Right. And
you can't control your boys, man. That's
nope.
I don't control you. You don't control me. Everybody has an individual.
It's not a good look. Not a good look, but not as bad as it could have been.
Exactly. But anyway, he's still viable this week at 7,400. He is probably the best play from this game, not named Chris Olave. If you're picking one, who are you picking? Because Olave is cheaper, which I like. I like cheap.
6,800 Olave is the third core play. Yes. Saquon, ETN, Olave.
Yes, I love it, dude. He's one of mine as well. I just wrote about him for the Sports Gambling Podcast.
And call me crazy, but I'm going to do some stacks with Dalton, Olave, and Kamara. Okay. Watch me double stack the Saints.
Listen, I'm going to throw something crazy out there, right? This is terrible. You're going to hear this from me. Deontay Johnson is due. He's really due. He's sixth. He's sixth in targets in the NFL, 76. I mean, he's right up there with Jalen Waddle, with all those big guys. Yeah. Mike Evans, he's above Mike Evans. He has 47 receptions. He is averaging 4.9 yards per target. That is disgusting. He has like 300 some receiving yards. It is hellscape for him. They've had a week off. I read an article that talked about how they spent a lot of time this past week during their practices. The 3 of them, the Pickens, Deontay Johnson, and Freiermuth with the quarterback. They wanted to make sure. I said Pickens, right? Who's Pickett? Pickett. Yeah, Pickett.
Kenny Pickett is the problem here.
He is the problem. It's exactly what they're saying, and they were trying to get on the wavelength with him to get in, fill in the gap. So that's the only way this is going to happen. And here's the thing: New Orleans defense and their secondary has not been stout this year. They played good against Baltimore. Baltimore has no wide receivers. They don't have any. Like Devin Duvernay's not a wide receiver, and neither is Demarcus Robinson. Sorry, they're just not.
He's a hell of a kick returner.
Great, he's awesome at doing that, but he's not a wide receiver one, right? And so I think in this matchup, the Saints cornerbacks, if Lattimore does not go, it does not look good for them, and I'll tell you why. No offense, but is it Alontae Taylor? He is 85th out of 113 cornerbacks. That's not good. And then Paulson Adebo is 111th out of 113 cornerbacks. That's terrible in PFF ranking. I know they've got Tyrann Mathieu there. He's a beast in the back secondary, but I still like either Pickens or Deontay Johnson as a GPP dart throw from the back row. So I'll take your stack and then I'll sneak one of my little shitty guys in there too. So second cuss. Damn it. Oh, third cuss. All right.
Man, I haven't even hit my 1 yet.
I know, man. I'm taking it all. Are you into any Freiermuth? He's getting a little chalky, getting a little pickup here.
Nope. Fading.
I'm fading Freiermuth too. 8%. That's just too much for me. I like Pickens. I'd rather play Pickens myself.
Yeah, I'm doing some Pickens. I'm really not. I don't trust Deontay to get DFS production. Like even when he's really good, he's not a DFS guy. He's maybe a cash game guy, but not tournament guy. It's like, what's his line going to be? 8 for 70, maybe a touchdown in his best game.
His best.
I don't see it. And so give me a little bit of big playability there with Pickens and really nobody else. I have a feeling the Saints are just going to run into Pittsburgh and beat the living tar out of the Steelers because
they are going to
the
whoop them.
Steelers defense are dead last to get defending wide receivers.
Yep.
They can't score on any defense. They've looked overmatched by every defense they've played this season.
Yeah.
And it's just an ugly game where a decent team like the Saints, they're not great, but they're not bad either. They're going to go in there and just crush the Steelers. The Steelers are not a good football team.
No, they give up the third most receiving yards. They've given up 13 touchdowns, which is the most to wide receivers. So those are not good when you're giving up the most yards almost and then the most touchdowns. Those are the only things.
And then you're not scoring to catch up.
Right. I mean, sure, they haven't given up a lot of receptions. They've only given up like the 7th most receptions, but it's because all the yards that they get afterwards, they don't need. They get the yak, so they go to get the touchdowns. So, but I do digress. We've got another exciting game coming up here, and this is actually a game that I don't think Josh Allen's going to play in, which is going to make it a less exciting game. And it looks like the total is even dropping in Buffalo.
You don't think he's going to play?
I don't think he's going to play. I don't think he needs to play in this game. It's not a divisional matchup.
That's the different question, though. That is a different question.
Yeah.
Everybody knows he does not need to play this game.
I don't think he's going to play. I don't think he's going to play. He's got a bum throwing elbow on the throwing arm that he throws with.
Yeah, and the play after he hurt that elbow, he's unleashed a 70-yard rocket.
Of course.
In stride to Gabriel Davis, who completely dropped it, let it hit him in the chest.
You know, I know, but it's kind of like watching Optimus Prime fight Megatron. You know, he can take a few more blasts from the cannon, but he doesn't need to right now. He can wait for a little bit. So I don't know. I think they can go with Case Keenum, but let's say he does play. The Vegas line is making it look like he's not going to play. But if he does play,
all the signs from Vegas say that it's going to be Case Keenum.
Yeah, it does. I just go with Vegas. But let's say he does play. Are you stacking him with Diggs? They'd be expensive.
Yeah. And kind of, I'm with you. I kind of hope he doesn't play because I really want to play that 5K flat Case Keenum, Stephon Diggs stack in the revenge game. They both were they were the Minneapolis Miracle a few years back. Keenum to Diggs was the Minneapolis Miracle, and I want to see them go back and face. They're in Buffalo, but they're going to face their former team, and I hope that Keenum and Diggs light the Vikings up.
Yeah.
And I think they can because Keenum is one of the best backup quarterbacks in the NFL.
I'm just going to say this. I'm going to read verbatim from my article that I've not published yet, and this is what I said. I said the only reason I would ever advocate for playing Case Keenum is because of his $5,000 price tag this week. It's not like he has explosive weapons that can create big plays after the catch or anything. Who dat? I'll pause so New Orleans Saints fans can calm down. So yeah. No, I am very excited about that too, Bo. In the revenge return game, since he has stopped playing for the Minnesota Vikings, my boy has over 4,000 receiving yards. He has 27 touchdowns and like 315 receptions. He has gone into the next stratosphere when he left and went with Josh Allen. So I know, man, and I listened to him talk too. He's so humble. He said, I love everybody in Minnesota. I had the best time. It didn't work out. That's how it is in life sometimes. It doesn't work out, and you still love other people. It was just the most mature Stephon Diggs I'd ever heard in my life. It was not a revenge tour of hate. It was I can't wait to show people how I'm the big brother now. And so Big Brother's going to come home. I agree with you. I want that to happen too. No Josh Allen this week. Please, for my bankroll, please. GPP bro bag. Yeah. So any other plays? Devin Singletary is looking optimal in the Sims, but he doesn't look optimal on the field.
He's terrible, guys. Why do you think they gave up a draft pick of any kind to get Nyheim Hines when they have James Cook out there?
Right.
That's what kind of concerned me was I was looking at this going, okay, yeah, Singletary looks okay out there, but I think that they're more looking to the future here. And the Hines pick was for now, and the Cook draft selection was for later.
Right.
So they were like, hey, where are we deficient? starting running back. Singletary is going to get less work. And guess who got the first running back touches for Buffalo last week? It was Cook.
Yes, it was.
So I think this Hines acquisition, once he's up to speed with this offense, it's going to be Singletary that takes the back seat. And they have these two scat backs, which fit this offense a lot better. They're not trying to power run with anybody other than Josh Allen anyway.
Right. Yeah. No,
I'm like Singletary's a power runner anyway. Singletary's tiny. He's 5'8", 190.
Why would you power run with a little guy when you could power run with a big guy?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. Yeah. No. Yeah. On the other side, are you interested in Dalvin Cook? He's been a hit or miss this year. He's had 2 20-point plus games, and then every other game's been like 8 points, 9 points, 13 points, 7 points. So how do you see – I mean, if they're going to win, they're probably not going to have Justin Jefferson go off against this secondary. My guess is it's more of a ground game. Am I wrong in that kind of game script prediction?
Yeah, maybe. It's going to be – it's tougher to predict what happens there, but I still like
Keenum's a wild card for sure.
Yeah, the weapons in this game are good enough to get there. I'll be checking ownership because if this game isn't going to be chalky, I might want to load up on it because the Buffalo Bills system is really good and Keenum is pretty damn good. He doesn't have the rushing element there that Allen has, but the Bills don't have the personnel to go power run without Allen. So they might just spread it out and just heave ho passing attack like they do on occasion when they want to spell Josh Allen in the running game.
I'm all for that. I'm for this game. Yeah. So I told you there was like one other game I liked. That was partly it, but I also like the Dallas game. We'll talk about that game. It's going to be the end cap though, or the net cap for us. So all right, let's get to a game that the points are dropping by the minute. They must be watching the Danger Witch commercial on repeat somewhere in a Vegas lab because it is just 37 and a hook. I think this might be the lowest total of the season.
Disgusting
I think I've seen. Tennessee, Malik Willis. I understand. Maybe no Ryan Tannehill. -3 points.
Watch how fast that line climbs if Tannehill's active.
Right. I mean, it's Henry or bust for me in this game. I mean, Jerry Jeudy maybe.
Yeah, Jeudy for sure. I'm all over Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah.
Everybody else can pretty much kick rocks in this game. Denver defense.
Yeah. I think if you play anybody from Tennessee, it's Derrick Henry. That's it. I can't see anybody else being viable. Derrick Henry's going to get 30 touches in this game. They're going to have to do that. There's nothing else that's going to work for them, and I don't think it's going to work for them. I think they're going to lose, despite Russell Wilson's best efforts. He's going to win a game. So can't wait for the prayer circle at the end. And then awkward talk with whatever reporter has to ask him why he's over there for 9 minutes in a prayer circle. So, I do like Jeudy, though. Jerry Jeudy, he's had 4 more targets than Courtland Sutton in the last 5 games, but he's outproduced him point-wise by 27 points. It's DraftKings points. So, yeah, it's been a tilting situation. We started Courtland, and it was Jeudy, actually. Fancy receipts that.
Who could have said that the better player would have outproduced the other not so good player? And everybody's saying, "Oh, Sutton this, Sutton that." I was like, "Have you seen Sutton since Jeudy came back?" I haven't.
Yeah, no, you were right on that one.
Sutton is not good, guys.
I think my co-host Mike Cash Collins was on that one.
I love Jeudy. I've loved Jeudy since Alabama. There's been nothing wrong with this game other than staying healthy. And now that he's healthy, he's lighting it up. Even with Wilson looking terrible, Judy's out there wide open, and Wilson just sucks.
Yeah, he still sucks. He sucks hard. All right, let's get to a game with a lot of sucking that has gone on with both these teams this year. Frank Reich out, Jeff Saturday in the most bizarre press conferences from Jim Irsay I've ever seen in my life. Not even the
press conference. What about the decision?
I know, just the explanation of the decision and the whole thing about it. It was just like,
there's no way he was going to be able to explain that in a satisfactory manner. There's no way. There's no way to explain that decision.
I think you come in and you say, "Hey, listen, I'm a billionaire and I do whatever I want, and none of you matter to me, and that's why I picked this guy that I like. He's my friend."
Basically what he said.
And I don't like him. Right.
I called Peyton first, and he didn't pick up the phone.
Peyton said to go to hell, and I was like, I only know two other Colts who ever played
Peyton's
on this
like
team.
Jim who?
Andrew
who's
Luck.
Jim Irsay?
I don't even know Andrew Luck anymore. That guy ruined my franchise. So, yeah. Now, but in this game, you could have no coaches by the end of the game, right? Josh McDaniels could get fired in the middle of the game. You just never know with the Davis family. But in all reality, last week they were winning. They were going to win. They won the first half, and then they played the second half, and then they lost. But in that performance, Davante Adams
third time they blew a 17-point lead this season.
They're just not a good defensive team. Derek Carr, a little banged up too.
And their coach, no, Carr's not banged up. Everybody's banged up if you consider Carr banged up. Carr is healthy as can be. The problem is Josh McDaniels is an awful head coach. Yeah. Derek Carr is an overrated as hell quarterback. And the best part was for me was the dichotomy between the Raiders' first half and second half, where the first half it was Davante Adams getting 10 targets, scoring 2 touchdowns, looking absolutely unstoppable because he's the best receiver in football. In the second half, they completely went away from it like they did the game before, where they hyper targeted such illustrious receivers as Hollins and Foster Moreau.
Oh, the island of
they went back to that after slicing and dicing in the first half, and Davante Adams going back to his normal self, and they're like, "Yeah, that's not our bag. We're gonna change that up."
That's not my bag, baby. Yeah. Yes. So you don't know really what to get and expect from them this week. Josh Jacobs is heavily rostered in this matchup. Yeah, he's 16% rostered, $7,600.
I don't trust that offensive play calling. When they rode Josh Jacobs, he was good. When he played good run defenses, they rode him and he didn't go anywhere. And then they just went away from it last week. Like, okay, Josh Jacobs is our lead running back, but we're not going to run the ball. And Josh Jacobs has really fallen out of grace in the last 2 weeks. And so until I see a better emphasis on putting the ball in their best players' hands for a whole game, I'm fading Josh Jacobs.
Well, if you look at the games before, 28, 21, 20 carries. On the other side, 6 targets, 5 targets, 5 targets. And then the last 2 weeks, 10 carries, 17 carries, 3 targets, 4 targets. You're taking away, you're halving what he has. And so if you half what somebody has, normally they can't they're going to not produce. So he went from 37, 33, 39 to 7.4 and 11.7 last 2 weeks. Like, how do you get 6 touchdowns in 3 weeks and then 0 touchdowns in 2 weeks? So, yeah, they did not play very effectively in either game against New Orleans. Against New Orleans, they played like dog shit. That was the worst game I've seen any team play this year. But then Jacksonville, they at least look good in the first half. So yeah, I'm probably not going heavy bone on any of these. I always have a little bit of Davante Adams because he's Davante Adams. It's just, you got to have that. So, by the way,
he's still at value last week.
Yeah. And listen, you could play a little Michael Pittman this week. Last week, I did say to fade Michael Pittman, by the way. I said to sit Michael Pittman. I did say that. I just wanted that for the record to be known. Okay. Yeah. Because Mike
Mellinger.
Yeah, Melanger. Yeah. His problem might malinger this week. So, but of course, Las Vegas quits in the second half. So if you have Michael Pittman take us over in the second half, he might do better then. So, all right, let's jump to, we got 2 more games. And the last game is one I actually want to talk about. I'm excited about that one. Arizona visiting LA, the Rams at home again this year. They're at home like 17 times. They're not very good at home, on the road. Yeah, on a boat, on a goat, in their throat, they suck. Like it's not good for the Rams.
Not pretty.
No, Arizona's going to truck them, I believe. If DeAndre Hopkins and Kyler Murray can ever get on the same page, you can just see him saying, "What are you looking at? What do you see? How do you not see this?" So there's some turmoil there in Arizona as well. They haven't won a home game in a decade. So thank God it's a road win for them on the horizon this week, which they should cover and crush. How are you stacking? Are you stacking? I think the 2 best plays are just Hopkins and Kupp. To me, I don't really get around any other plays.
Just Kupp for me.
Just cut for you. Yeah,
I'm taking the under in this game. I'm fading this game.
Yeah, I don't like this game at all. And you know what? This is another one of these 4 p.m. boring games that they're going to put on here.
But Arizona's defense against this Rams offense, I like it.
Oh, for the defense. Oh, yeah. But it's
Arizona
not going to be.
Arizona DST at 2,700 is me likey.
Yeah, that might be a core play too. I'm not going to lie about that. The Rams' offensive line is dead. So
it's non-existent.
Yeah. And their running game is terrible too. Every running back on their team is terrible. I
don't think the running backs are bad. They just have nowhere to go.
Well, they're just not good too. So I mean, and they're
Henderson.
not there.
Henderson's very underrated. He just can't stay healthy when he finally gets the job.
Yeah. He's been trying to do that for years. So
yeah, he always gets dinged up right at the wrong time. And now he's healthy and he has nowhere to run because their offensive line is just a bunch of grocery clerks at this point.
To Andrew Wentworth could do better than the line.
Oh yeah, he could climb off of this Amazon broadcast and go play better than whoever the hell they have out there right now.
The score in the game, by the way, I've not watched 1 second of this game.
13-3. Carolina's winning in the rain.
Who has a touchdown?
Laviska Shenault.
Ooh, I was playing him in DFS last week. 1 week.
Yeah, they did a little jet sweep pass option with him, and he tucked it and ran it, and they didn't tackle him. They didn't even touch him.
Sad.
He ran down the sidelines and just went. And so, of course, I'm kicking myself because in Showdown Slate, I had a lineup with Laviska in there, and at the last minute, I changed it to somebody else, and Laviska's not in there anymore, so I didn't get the touchdown. It was only one. I'm losing because I switched up Laviska out for somebody else.
There's only one touchdown in the game and you don't get it. That's not good.
You're done.
You're done. Yeah.
I need somebody else to score a touchdown real bad.
Yeah. Super bad. And Laviska Shenault touchdown to be credited to somebody else. All right, let's talk about our last game. I saved it for last. It's my favorite game in the second half. The second half of these little games here. Dallas visiting Green Bay. Mike McCarthy going back to Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers going to meet him at midfield before the game and laugh about how he ran him out of town.
Yeah, it's a narrative game. It's not. I don't even think this game's going to be good. Dallas is going to boat race him.
I agree with you. I think it's going to be good if you stack maybe like CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott, maybe, or Tony Pollard.
Tony Pollard. My guy, Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard's going to have a fantastic game.
Yeah. Zeke should be back, but not at full speed. I think you see Tony Pollard picking up more red zone
I think he
carries
sits
as
another week. To be honest, I think Zeke sits another week.
You do? Okay. You're the Cowboys expert right now. You know,
when they ask Zeke how he's feeling, he says he's not there yet, and they're not gonna chance re-injuring that knee or aggravating it worse by sending him out there when they don't need him. Like Tony Pollard, like before the bye week, we're talking Tony Pollard only got 14 touches and was it 10 yards a touch and 3 touchdowns. I think he's pretty good at football. He's my favorite player for a reason. I've been watching him since he was at Memphis, and this kid, he's just special. He is a special football player, and he's still going to get his same role, the 10 to 15 touches, but what he does with his touches is so magnificent.
I'm going to do like the Pete Overzet move here and save him for some of my flex plays in that late afternoon window.
Oh, yes.
And then if I put a flex play in a lineup that has ETN and Barkley in it, that might be Team 6. So
and Cowboys DST at the top of the board there. That's a worthy spend up.
I like that as well.
Aaron Rodgers just saw the Packers get held under 10 points by the Lions, guys. Lions. And that's the worst defense in the league, and now they're going up against the best defense in the league. What do you think is going to happen, Scott?
I think Aaron Rodgers is going to have a meltdown on live TV.
Well, if he loses, you've heard. I've told you the story about how he loves beating the Cowboys. If he gets his ass kicked by the Cowboys, he's going to retire. He's going to just be like, "That's it. That's that. I can't beat the Cowboys anymore." He's never lost to us. He's never lost to the Cowboys.
I think he gets his ass handed to him. This is like the opposite of like
him riding off into the sunset, just like, "Oh, yep, this is it."
Well, this is the opposite.
Tired of throwing to Randall Cobb and Sammy Watkins.
When you think of kind of, how Brady was going out, winning a Super Bowl before, or kind of on that trail, almost winning a Super Bowl. This is the opposite. This is like a getting your ass kicked tour as you should have gotten out, but you didn't. The ayahuasca.
Stay down, old man.
All right. With that being said, go follow Bo _McBigtime, Bo McBrayer in real life. I am Nimble W Numbers, Scott Simpson in real life as well. Anything to get us out, Bo? Any secret plays? Anybody that you didn't touch enough on that you want to touch a little more before we get out of here?
Yeah. So watch, if you're gonna play a Green Bay Packers tight end, it's not Robert Tonyan. It's Mr. NorCal himself, Aaron Rodgers to his NorCal brother, one of my guys from Sacramento. It's Josiah DeGuara.
Oh, I like that, senor. All right. We'll be seeing you next time. This is the NFL Week 10 NFL DFS Show on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Like and subscribe. Follow us all everywhere. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.